With Dianetics, you're going to locate and remove the engrams hidden in your reactive mind so they no longer affect you. But to understand just how that could be done, let's take a closer look at how these experiences are stored. You know that every moment of your life, your mind is recording everything that's happening to you. The times when your analytical mind is recording, plus the times when your reactive mind is recording, form a complete sequence of the events in your life. This consecutive record of your past is called the time track. The time track is your system of filing all of your experiences according to the time they were received, from the beginning of your existence to now, including those incidents that you're not consciously aware of. You see, when an engram is received, your analytical mind is shut down by the physical pain and emotion. And since it's shut down, it doesn't know that the engram's data is coming in. So you're not consciously aware that the data exists.
There's no time!
Now, when an engram gets restimulated, part of your analytical power is shut down as part of the commands of the engram. This causes you to feel nervous or frightened or sleepy, dull, or confused. And the source of this remains hidden from your view. But in Dianetics, it was discovered that you can be sent back, wide awake, to any experience on your time track and examine everything that was recorded at the time of the event. This isn't memory in the way you remember something. It's different. For example, let's say you once won a swimming race. Now you could simply recall the fact that you won the race. That would be remembering. Or you could concentrate on the matter and again see the other swimmers in the pool. You could hear all the sounds of the race. Feel the pressure of the goggles on your face and smell the chemicals in the pool. You could feel the texture and temperature of the water against your skin, the rhythm and motion of your body, the quick pace of your beating heart, the ache in your shoulders, and the emotions you felt when you won. This method of thinking is called returning. Returning is the method used in Dianetics to go back or return to moments in your past while you're wide awake and re-experience the perceptions recorded in that incident.
I hear shots being fired.
Corbin!
Guys are shouting.
Corbin!
I hear someone yelling.
There's no time!
There's no time.
To do this, you sit in a comfortable chair with a friend who acts as the auditor. The word auditor means one who listens and computes. The auditor guides you through the precise steps of the Dianetics procedure, which you'll learn in Chapter 12. Her purpose is to find those engrams and return you to them.
Let's go to the earliest moment of pain or discomfort.
The auditor works with a system called the file clerk to find these incidents. Now, obviously, there isn't a little man in your mind handing out data, but your mind operates as if there were. The auditor asks your file clerk for information, and suddenly, you're in possession of the whole file. For example, if the auditor asks for the last time you saw a movie, the file clerk will hand out the movie, the date, how you felt, all your perceptions, the plot of the movie, the weather that night, everything that was present and connected with the movie. The auditor and your file clerk are a team. The auditor takes whatever incident the file clerk finds and returns you to it.
Begin at the beginning of the incident and recount it.
I'm about 7 years old.
She has you re-experience the incident several times through until it's relieved or erased.
Go back to the beginning and go over it again.
Well, I'm in my room.
Go back to the
Erased simply means that it's gone from your reactive mind and is now filed in your analytical memory banks. In other words, it's now just a memory without pain or force over you.
Yeah, that was just incredible.
Now, you might think that you can return to these incidents by yourself, but that's not the case. Just as your analytical power is dimmed whenever an engram is restimulated,
You're always messing things up!
it's also shut down to some degree whenever you are returned to that engram in auditing.
You hear me? No good!
You may speak or act in a modified version of the engram
I think I'm messing this up.
and experience the same emotions that the engram contains.
Messing things up. I'm no good at this. You hear me?
So in that moment, the force of your reactive mind is greater than you are. You lack enough persistence, enough dynamic thrust to persevere.
I understand.
But the auditor is not affected by your engrams. She has her full analytical power and a strong dynamic thrust. So together, the two of you are greater than the force of your reactive mind. When you join forces against it, it gives up its engrams. Once all the painful experiences have been cleared from your reactive mind, your aberrations will be gone. You'd experience a renewed vigor and enthusiasm for life, and you'd be surviving at a very high level across your dynamics. You would be the best of who you really are. Rational, confident, more intelligent, creative, and productive. Life should be enjoyed, and a person who is cleared of their engrams would enjoy living to its fullest. That is the goal of Dianetics. But to reach that goal, you have to understand how auditing works. Dianetic therapy is called auditing. The procedure used in auditing enables you to contact those hidden moments of pain and eliminate their harmful influence over you. All therapy is done by traveling on your time track. Everything you've ever experienced is filed there, in sequence, according to the time it happened. And even though it seems like the moments containing pain and unconsciousness are missing from your time track, they are there, and they can be located. In fact, these engramic events become linked to one another in your reactive mind, and that connection helps you locate them. You see, engrams actually form chains of incidents that have something similar in common. For a simple example, let's say you once were hit by a bike. And years earlier, you had a bad spill on a motorcycle. And back when you were a child, you were injured from a fall off your bike. And even earlier, you suffered a prenatal engram containing the word bike.
Sweetheart, what happened? I tripped over the bike.
To your reactive mind, these engrams would form a chain, a series of incidents which contain bikes as part of their content. Now, all engrams also contain a harmful energy or force called charge. This painful or emotional charge is what gives an engram its force and power over you. When incidents form a chain, the later ones contain their own charge plus the force of all earlier incidents on that chain as well. In other words, the later incidents get their strength from the earlier ones. Auditing takes the charge out of these incidents. So when you're auditing a chain of engrams, you want to find the earliest incident on that chain, because that's the one that's holding the other ones in place and giving them their force. That first incident is called the basic. The basic on a chain is always your goal, and that can be a very, very early engram. Here's why. Think of the reactive mind as an upside-down pyramid. The upper part of this pyramid is made up of the most recent incidents on your time track. The lower part contains the earliest ones. The cement that holds this pyramid together is all the physical pain and painful emotion you've ever recorded. Now, a chain could consist of incidents that all contain the same kind of pain or injury. Or they might contain the same person, or the same word or phrase, or a similar smell, or similar sounds or voices, and so on. So you can see that many chains could lead down into the prenatal area of your time track, to the first time that pain or phrase or voice appears in an incident. Therefore, the goal in every auditing session is to get into this bottom area, contacting and removing the earliest engrams you can find. Sometimes you have to go back into the later area to find recent incidents, especially painful emotion engrams. Reducing these later incidents will help uncover the earlier ones hidden beneath them. In addition, these losses will contain trapped life force. Releasing this charge weakens the reactive mind and reinforces your ability to find more engrams and carry on in life. In fact, the release of this emotional charge contained in losses is so important that once the majority of this emotional stress is discharged from your reactive mind, you reach a state known as release. A Dianetic release is a person who has been freed from his major anxieties or illnesses. At the very bottom of this pyramid is the earliest moment of pain and unconsciousness. This is known as basic, the first engram on the first chain of engrams, and that engram must be found if you're going to become clear. Once basic has been erased, the remaining engrams will be much easier to locate and erase. Now, these incidents aren't actually erased. They've just shifted and are now found filed as experiences in your analytical memory banks. In other words, they are now memories, without any pain or charge or force over you. When all the physical pain and painful emotion from your life has been released, the reactive mind will be cleared of its engrams. You'll be restored to your optimum state. You will be you. You will be clear. And the next chapter will show you exactly how to begin.